Hello people, good morning, another beautiful day. Yep, hope your five senses work and hope your health and strength is good this morning. What's up gamers? Alright, listen to this. I was looking at two articles. There's an Uncharted reboot, right? But this one is even more important now. Coming for Uncharted reboot coming for PlayStation 5, right? But then I saw this. It's about the Avengers. Crystal Dynamics is shutting down the servers in 2023. The Avengers. Look, when it comes to the Avengers, the combat system is fine. The problem with the Avengers, like I told everybody, it's your freedom of movement. That was the problem with the game. When I have Iron Man and I can't fly to the top of a high-rise building, that's a problem. When you have Iron Man and I can't fly around the buildings, that's another problem. When you got Thor and he can't fly to the clouds, that's a problem. When you have Thor and you can't fly around buildings, that's another problem. When I have the Hulk and the Hulk can't jump up a high-rise building, it's a problem. Look, yesterday I was looking at a YouTube video. They were talking about the Batman Suicide Squad Killer Justice League, and in the video it showed the shark, the man that looked like a shark, that's like a shark. He was jumping up the high-rise building to get to the top of it, and the building was collapsing, right? And that's what the Avengers needed. So Suicide Squad Killer Justice League exposed the Avengers and the weakness that it has. So the problem with the Avengers is your freedom of movement. And it became evident when you're in the city and you're going down the main street and you can look through the glass buildings and see the inside of the offices. But then they had some platform, and then you jump up on the platform, but then you try to play as Iron Man, and then you try to fly on above those buildings, and you realize you're limited. Then when you went all the way straight down, and then you got to the Ames building before you go inside it, it became really evident that's what the problem was. You could not fly to the top of that building with Iron Man. And that's what the main issue is when it comes to the Avengers. It's not the combat system. That's not the issue. It's your freedom of movement. Look, when WB Games made DC Universe, they gave everybody, they were like, look, if you're gonna make a superhero game, this is the layout, this is the format, this is the diagram, this is the blueprint, this is how you need to make your superhero games. You cannot limit them. So DC Universe, WB Games with DC Universe, they gave everybody the blueprint from Rocksteady to Crystal Dynamics. Anybody that tried to make a superhero game, WB Games with DC Universe gave everybody the diagram, the layout, the formula, and the blueprint. If you're going to make a superhero game, this is the formula it needs to be in. And what did Crystal Dynamics do with the Avengers? It's not even close. Okay, so when you look at the Avengers as a whole, your freedom of movement, it's limited. The combat system is fine. It's your freedom of movement. Okay, and that was the main issue with the Avengers, man. And in today's video game climate, you cannot limit today's players. They're not going for it. You cannot limit today's players, especially games especially open world games. You cannot limit them. You're going to hear from them. You're going to hear from a whole bunch of them. Okay. One of the reasons why Anthem is still alive, like I told people months ago, weeks ago, I said Anthem can't be replaced. Anthem is doing good right now. Okay, that game, you can't get rid of that game. the game lasts longer than the Avengers. Think of that. Anthem lasts longer than the Avengers. Think of it. Look at Anthem. Look at Anthem freedom of movement. Anthem took DC Universe formula, and look at Anthem. It's thriving, and Anthem lasts longer than the Avengers. Think of it. Look at Anthem. Anthem on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One or Xbox Series X, PS5. Look at Anthem. Anthem took the same. EA took the same formula from DC Universe and applied it to Anthem, and Anthem is thriving. Look, and people are playing that game. But the Avengers from Crystal Dynamics with Square Enix is getting shut down. They didn't follow the rules. And now it's going to be closed. Listen to this. Failed Avengers live service game may shut down in 2023. Crystal Dynamics reportedly shut down its Marvel Avengers live game in 2023 as the team moves on to new projects like the next Tomb Raider. It says here, the failed Marvel Avengers live game may be shutting down in 2023. Sources have told Xputer. Says here, wow. Wow. It's crazy. This Avenger. Okay, let me save this. Avengers. Okay, save it. Alright. Says here, Crystal Dynamics could stop supporting Marvel Avengers as early as next year, and possibly shutting down the game server. Announced in 2017 and then released in 2020, the Avengers live game has been problematic for developers Crystal Dynamics and publisher Square Enix, who reportedly lost $200 million on its multi-game partnership with Marvel. Then it says game site Xputer chronic the trial that Crystal Dynamics faced while making the Avengers, noting the live game was based on the studio proprietary Foundation engine, which was never really meant for big online games. Anyway, the studio has since switched to Epic highly optimized flexible Unreal Engine 5 so that developers have more even keeled engine environments. Crystal Dynamics debuted Unreal Engine 5 project will be a new Tomb Raider game, the studio has confirmed. Sources tell Xputer the Avengers will not receive any new content in 2024, and that Crystal Dynamics plans to sunset the games throughout 2023, culminating a short 3-year life cycle for failed product. And then it says in 2022, Square Enix sold Crystal Dynamics and licensed the Marvel projects Embracer Group for $300 million. The Japanese publisher says that it's now wanted to move away from the risk and focus on more guaranteed franchise titles. Then it says here, it was noted that Crystal Dynamics did not make much profit following the release of Avengers. Back in May 2022, Embracer Group CEO Lars Wingford commented that the licensed game in the buyout, which include Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, would still be operated and built upon. And Wingford did not comment on a possible end date for Avengers, however. And that's it. Well, in today's video game climate, like I told you in the very beginning, you cannot limit today's players, especially in an open world environment. You know, like I told you, when WB Games came out with DC Universe, they gave the entire video game industry the blueprint on how to make a superhero game going forward. This is the diagram, this is the layout, this is the formula, This is the blueprint. Okay. Yeah. WB Games with our DC Universe. And Crystal Dynamics with Square Enix didn't follow the formula that was given, and that's why the Avengers failed. When you put limits on superhero games in today's open world environment, that game will fail. It will fail hands down. And it's funny to me that Anthem lasted longer than the Avengers. It's funny. It's funny to me. It's really funny to me. I'm sitting here laughing that Anthem from EA lasted longer than the Avengers. That should tell you something. And EA followed the formula that WB Games laid out and applied it to Anthem. And Anthem is still thriving. Ain't that something? Anthem lasts longer than the Avengers. Like I said in the very beginning of this video, like I told you guys before, weeks ago, months ago, even years now, I told you that Anthem couldn't be replaced. And Anthem is still here. The game from EA is still alive and doing well in 2023 when the Avengers isn't. Yeah, like I told you, in today's open world environment, when it comes to video games, you cannot limit today's players. You can't limit them. Whether it's a superhero game, whether it's a mech game, any open world game, you cannot limit today's players. Yeah, okay. I mean, look, the game, it was evident from day one with the Avengers. The first mission, man, when you are in the city and you can't fly to the clouds with a superhero in today's video game climate, that is a problem. This is why I don't even like that Marvel game that just came out about a couple weeks ago. This is why I don't like it, because it's not an open world game. Okay, you cannot limit today's players in today's video game climate, in today's open world environment. You know, you can't go backwards and make games like they used to be. Nobody's gonna play that, man. It's all about open world games now. So developers now can't shortchange or can't limit today's players, man. They're not gonna have it. You know, any open world game, whether it's adventure, whether it's RPGs, whether it's racing, whether it's survival horror, you know, whatever is action adventure, you cannot limit today's players, man. So you know, Crystal Dynamics, man, they didn't follow the formula that WB Games laid out, man. And that's what's the issue with the Avengers. You know, when you got superheroes like Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Panther, and they can't get to the top of a high-rise building in a superhero game, that is a problem, man. You know, that is a real problem. And the Avengers paid the price, man. You know, many gamers were looking to this game, man. Many gamers, including myself. And once we saw that game, we weren't going to give Crystal Dynamics a pass, man. We weren't going to give them a pass on that. That's not acceptable. You know? Because everybody was like, wait a minute, we have DC Universe, and DC Universe is like, is a superhero game, and we can fly to the sky and all that. But we can't do it in the Avengers? What? It's a problem. So yeah. They paid a price, man. So the gamers let them know about it. You know, you can't in today's world, man, you cannot limit today's players, man. They're not going for it. No. That Marvel game that just came out, man, that's not even a superhero game, man. I don't care if it's even card based. It's not a superhero game, man. Okay? If the Unreal Engine demo of Superman that they got on PC, flying around the city the way he is and going up and flying to the clouds and all that, that is a superhero game. That, the Avengers, Spider-Man, and Batman, Arkham Knight, man. Those 4 games, man. Those are the formulas for superhero games. If you come out with a superhero game and it's not in that formula, forget it. Nobody's gonna pay attention to you, man. So, a superhero game has to be open world, man. You cannot limit today's players, man. So yeah, the Avengers paid a price, man. So let this be a warning to all the developers that try to make superhero games out there and thinking that they can shortchange today's gamers. They're in for a rude awakening when it comes to these games, man. They're in for a rude awakening, man. So I hope they learned a lesson from the Avengers, man. But the Avengers, man. You're talking. I mean, when you put limits on superheroes, man, limit their freedom of movement, that is a problem. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video with this article for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing, or Dark Side. I'm gone. Peace.